Today, let's talk about politics. I'm not really keen on politics. I don't really like talking about politics because I feel like no matter what I say, nothing is going to change. Because my forefathers and my father, my grandfather, they have all been fighting for the, development of Africa as a continent as a whole, fighting wars, protesting, singing about it and all that. But nothing has changed over the years. We still have puppet leaders and all that. But for the past couple of days, from what I've seen on social media, from a neighboring country, Kenya, I'm very proud. I have hope that we can actually turn things around. For those of you that don't understand what is going on, let's just listen to him.
On the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024, and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that becomes our collective position.
So this man is the president of Kenya. He brought a bill trying to impose tax on the citizens. So the citizens told him peacefully that we are not interested in this bill. You have to, withdraw it. He said no, that he's still going to, pass the bill and force it on the citizens. So they went ahead and moved to the streets and started protesting. The first day, they felt like, these people are going to, cave in. They are going to get tired. They are going to go back home. The youth refused to go back home. They started protesting. They started, it became uncontrollable. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think it's still going on right now. And I think 2 days later or 3 days later, the president came out and said this. Meaning the citizens were able to force change in their government. They reminded the government that, look, you work for us, not the other way around. We are telling you that we are suffering. These politicians, right, when they are in that position, they feel like I have the guns, I have the security agencies behind me under my command, so I don't have to listen to you. They don't feel the pain that the masses go through. They don't really move around the slums to understand that people are actually suffering. People are actually going through a lot. You can't just wake up one morning and just impose tax on citizens that are already suffering. So they just forget that, okay, these things that I'm doing is not going to, be good for my citizens. So they just do whatever they like. So this time around, the Kenyan people said, no, you are not going to be doing this. Not this time. We are not going to be taking this anymore. And we are not our forefathers that when you threaten with guns and bullets, they just cave in. I heard a few people lost their lives, rest in peace to them. But these people did not give up, until the government changed the bill and promised that it's not going to sign it or it's going to withdraw it totally. Now they're even demanding the president should resign, of which I support. He should resign, because if you're not willing to listen to the people that put you in power, you don't have any business calling yourself a democracy, calling yourself a democratic government, telling everybody that you are practicing a democracy. If you're not willing to listen to the masses, you are not actually working for them. You are working for other interests. And we are tired of puppets in Africa. This should serve as a lesson to other African leaders, especially my country. I'm Nigerian now. I'm even thinking of going to Kenya right now. I'm even thinking of purchasing a property in Kenya. I'm probably change my name to a Kenyan name because I'm proud of those people. I'm Nigerian. My president will just wake up one morning and just be like, you know what, I'm removing subsidy. Even the citizens, instead of them to talk about it and tell them, look, you cannot just be doing this to us, they start fighting over celebrities' wedding. They start talking about, irrelevant things. One girl will come up and tell you that if you don't have $20 million, 20 million naira, you are not going to be able to fuck me. If you don't have 20 million naira, you should not even bother coming close to me. Then the people will start insulting her, going back and forth with each other. That's what the citizens care about. I don't really blame them, because in Nigeria, we have the extremely rich, the middle class, the poor, and the extremely poor. So the extremely poor and the poor, they don't really have the money to purchase internet and be fighting back and forth. It's the ones that are rich or average, that are the middle class, and the extremely rich that is always on social media. So those ones don't really feel it. When they tell you now that a liter of fuel is going to cost you $800 next month, they just, sorry, 800, I keep saying dollars. I've lived in abroad for a very long time, so I'm sorry. So when they tell you that, a liter of fuel is going to move from 150 naira to 800 naira the next day, they don't feel it because they have the money to pay. So it's the people that are extremely poor that will feel it, that will be, protesting and trying to make a change. But since they don't have the support from the extremely wealthy and the, the middle class, nothing is going to happen. The government will feel like, we don't really need to change this. So that's why the country is still like that. So if we can take a lesson from our Kenyan brothers and actually go to the street and tell these people that you work for us, not the other way around, I think Africa will be able to, change.
We have flags and banners, nothing else, nothing else. These young people have nothing else, just bags, flags and banners, the Kenyan flag. How can you tear gas your own people? Listen to them. Listen to these children. They're the future. They're 80% of our population. 80%. If they decided to turn against that, they can. And that is what they're doing now. They're touching our ancestral land where we bury our people. How can you tax us on land that belonged to us forever, since time immemorial? Are we going back to a colonial situation? It is not right. These young people need a future. They have no jobs. Over 50% of our population who are under 35 have no jobs. We cannot start taxing them when they have no jobs. We're taxing the jobless and we're telling them to take a loan. And then when they start working, they're indebted. It is not right.
All these puppet leaders will be, rooted out, voted out of office. And any leader that is coming in next will know that, okay, if I'm not serving the people, if I'm not giving the people what they want, if I'm not acting in their best interest, they are still going to remove me. They're not going to wait for the next 4 or 5 years for them to go through another election process that is probably going to be rigged. So they are just going to take the laws into their hands. So I'm sure they are going to act right. In China, if you are corrupt, it's death sentence. In Singapore, it's the same thing. So politicians, when they get in there, they know that they are going to do the right thing, because if they don't, if they steal money, you hang them. You kill them. So we need tough laws like that so that the country will be okay. Because for someone like me, I would like to live in Africa. I would like to live back home. I would like to go back to Africa and be, safe, be able to invest, be able to have that security, be able to live comfortably without having the fear of, getting robbed, getting killed, just suffering for nothing, for basic things that I'm enjoying in another man's country, So Kenyan people, I'm really proud of you. And before I leave, I would like to have a Kenyan name. Because I'm thinking of changing my name to a Kenyan name, and I'm thinking of moving to Kenya because I'm very proud of you. From now on, call me Mr. Kenyan. No, don't worry. I'm going to look for a Kenyan name to be calling myself because I'm very proud of what Kenya did. And I'm sorry to those that have lost their loved ones. For those that have lost their life, may your soul rest in peace. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten by your people. And we Africans, we are proud of you people, So that's all I have to say today. I'm out.